Hello, YouTube, and welcome to episode 6 in the Monogatari series, that being Bakemonogatari episode 6. Yeah, we're back at it again today. Just a massive thanks again for the support on the last episode. I thought it was great. The big double episode, and we're probably going to do something similar next week, I think. So thanks again. I'm reading all the comments. I'm loving it. It's good. It's good that you guys are really interested in following it along, like I'm following it along. And the comments, they haven't been too spoilery yet, which is appreciated as well. So yeah, just a little discussion about the schedule going forward. So this is a 3 episode arc by the look of the episode titles. So I'm thinking 1 episode this week and then 2 next week. But then the arc after this one is 2 episodes. So I'll probably just do that in one video as well. Put it this way, if I'm within 2 episodes of the end of an arc, if it's unclear to me, please let me know as well. Because I'm looking at my episode list, and at least Bakemonogatari has episode titles, which is nice because I can look through and go, oh yeah, there's that arc. There's a good stopping point. You know what I mean? If not, please tell me about good stopping points. It's about making a satisfying episode for you guys and me, and creating a stopping point that feels like a natural stopping point for the story, so I'm not hanging on some ridiculous cliffhanger for, a whole week. Essentially. So yeah, thank you in advance for any advice from that perspective. All right, let's go through the comments. They're a bit of a doozy, and I think I'll hold some comments for a larger discussion at the end about the series going forward. The first comment I have here is from Kermit. I think that Araragi used Senjougahara's words about greatness of fascination in order to convey his feelings. Conversation about fascination was in 321 in episode 3 or 1554 in your reaction video. Yeah, I'm imagining this is what they're talking about. I guess this is more evident if you're Japanese. But I definitely didn't notice this line on the first run through. Probably didn't help that I took a week there as well. But yeah, good pickup, good info, and I'll need to be paying attention from the start of an arc to the end of an arc in the future. Yeah, I don't really think that mattered in the long term, really, other than it being a nice little bow on the arc, because this is the start of the arc, and then that's basically the last line of that arc as well. It's good. I'm wondering. It's a very writerly detail, so I'm wondering if. So how are these structured in the light novels? Would this be like a section of one light novel, or like a whole light novel, like this arc, if you know what I mean? Any insight into that would be appreciated as well. The next comment here is from Tyrese Andre, I want to say. Buck is confusing and at times wonky to understand, but I feel that the rest of the series is easier to understand. I'm not having any great trouble understanding stuff, I don't think. Maybe I am, and maybe I'm completely off base with everything that I'm saying, but you guys are certainly helping in the comments. It also helps that, so once I watch the episode once, I then edit the episode and then watch it again when I'm analyzing it, and then so I've seen the first 5 episodes probably 3 times each at this point, which definitely helps with the understanding department, I believe. But yeah, if you guys can keep commenting below anything that I miss, that'd be appreciative. Because yeah, it's a dense show. I will say it's that those 2 episodes in a row last week were kind of a little bit intimidating. My brain was a little bit fried by the end of it, especially overcoming the language barrier as well. So it's one thing to watch a dense show in my native language, but watching a dense show whilst trying to read subtitles, whilst trying to analyze and understand what's on screen, that's where we run into a little bit of trouble. But thanks for the comment. The next comment here is from Longinus, I want to say. Araragi is a pseudo-vampire. He already has a foot in the supernatural. When he was fighting with Hachikuji, she was actually damaging him because he can touch the otherworldly beings. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to touch the crab during the ritual in the first arc. But that also means the same for Hanakawa, who clearly touched Hachikuji. We know that Hanakawa went through a similar experience, which will be shown later in the series. Yeah, there's an arc that's called Tsubasa Cat. I'm going to imagine that's about Hanakawa. I think that's a pretty easy prediction. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, don't tell me other way. So yeah, so he can kind of touch ghosts, and Hanakawa can kind of. So from the fact that we can infer that Araragi can touch otherworldly beings, the supernatural, the occult, we can infer that Hanakawa is similar. So, Hanakawa seems to share a lot of this kind of stuff with Araragi. I'm wondering about the backstory there a little bit more because yeah, she can see and touch Hachikuji, so maybe it isn't particularly attached to her home situation in a way. Maybe it is. I don't know, but we're gonna see. But yeah, thanks for the comment. We have a returning comment here from Alexander Dunkelheit. This is why the Monogatari series gets better and better the more you watch it. You catch so much foreshadowing, details, and interpretations on a second viewing. Crazy how you innocently foreshadowed the twist in 1814. Did I? So she was too respectful? Whether human or not? What do you mean? Oh my god, she's dead. Yeah, I guess I kinda did. That's funny, that's a good pickup. Yeah, right over my head anyway. But yeah, that was a good little pickup there by Alexander. He continues, if you go back to the beginning of the arc and listen to Araragi calling these problems small and pitiful, makes me think of Hachikuji when she was introduced later. And the twist about Senjo not seeing her is so good. You can draw more parallels when you see that she's trying to, when she couldn't really help Araragi's problem, only listen. Same thing for the whole Hachikuji thing. These are two really good insights, I think, already. So I was talking a lot about Araragi's problem being a little bit petty and a little bit not very important to me, and then him getting pissed off at himself for it not being that important, and then self-critical, self-loathing kind of spirals from there. But then Hachikuji's problem is I can't see my mum because I'm literally dead. And that really puts it in perspective, and that's when he gets the courage to actually stand up and do something and face his problems head on. It's a great little touch. So yeah, then when Araragi is explaining his predicament to Senjougahara, uh, it's very similar to the Hachikuji thing, where she can't help, she can only listen. Well, in this case, she literally can't help because she can't see the problem. In both cases, she can't see the problem. That's clever as well. He continues again. Araragi's problem is with his mum is something she can't relate to since her mum's been out of her life for such a long time, but she didn't want to outright say that. She didn't see it or understand it for fear of not being normal. All of this could just be overanalyzing on my part, but it sounds awesome. I think that's the beauty of the show in a way. You can kind of overanalyze these kind of things, or you can just leave it as it is. See, it's both moment to moment entertaining. So if you're a more of a casual viewer, you can watch it and have a pretty good time. Or you can be like Alexander here and analyze all these minor details on rewatches, and it's endlessly rewarding. That's good fiction. That's what we want. He continues again. You wondered how much time Hachikuji has been dead. She mentions in the last episode she died, ran over by on her way to her mother's house, Mother's Day, 11 years ago when she was just 10. Okay, so I missed that detail last episode. So she's kind of been this ghost form for 11 years at this point. It just went. Yeah, missed that completely. Did you know that Mayoi also means lost? And I don't know if you knew from the first arc, but the word omoi also means feelings and weight in Japanese. The author clearly loves his wordplay. I didn't know about the Mayoi meaning lost, but they mention it in the show that omoi meaning feelings and weight, and there's the connection there between the two Japanese words. Yeah, it's funny little wordplay stuff that goes over us Westerners' heads a little bit, I think. So thanks for the pickup again. This show continues to make me write comments of biblical length. I'm sorry. Have fun with your future reactions. I'm loving them. No, thank you very much, Alexander. If you keep bringing the insights like this, I'm very happy to keep reading your comments and doing that kind of thing. Cheers. Thank you very much. There's a next comment from NamFam. I'm really glad you're reacting to the show and that you didn't expect the reveal. To me, the show only gets better the more you progress into the series. My favorite arc are the later ones. Hope you'll react to it someday. I'm planning on doing the whole thing, so I'll get to it. When it comes to watching order, I hope you watch Kizumonogatari after Bakemonogatari because the movies of Kizumonogatari got delayed for a while and were originally supposed to come out before Monogatari series second season. That is what I'm doing. So in my episode list as well, it says Kizumonogatari next, so that's definitely what I'm going to do. Eben's back again. Bless you for watching more than one episode at a time. If you want to keep up this rhythm next arc, it's also 3 episodes, and the one after that is 2. So kind of, yeah, alluding to what I was talking about before. That's probably the rhythm I'm going to keep up. Yes, Hachikuji died 10 years ago. She has been in isolation wandering for a decade, so her mental age is not the one of a 10-year-old, but not the one of a 21-year-old either. So think about that what you want. Put a pin in that. We're coming back to that a little bit. But thanks for the comment. Yeah, I'm probably going to keep that schedule up. Niku Fukin's back again with a couple comments, actually. I hope you keep doing 2 episodes a week in separate videos or one video. 1 ep is not enough. Yeah, so the rhythm will stay the same. But more Monogatari, the better. If I see the opportunity to do a double episode and time permits, I'm very happy to do so because I'm really enjoying the show. The show always puts a cheap version of the opening at the end of eps, or usually in a flashback. I think he means like the piano acoustic version. And yeah, I guess you could call it a cheap version. It does sound a bit cheaper. But I think it's very effective. I think it's effective technique. Lots of shows do it, and I love it every time. Little piano version of the opening, little leitmotif work there. Always works. It's good. Every time I rewatch episode 3, I'm amazed by how clearly Senjougahara can't see Hachikuji, and yes, all the OSTs are very good and memorable. I even have a whole playlist. Yeah. I'm really loving the soundtrack, and yeah, that twist, it totally caught me off guard. I had no idea it was coming. And that's what a good twist should do. There's this last comment here by Bowsber, and then I'll go back to another comment by DG Too Drunk. And they kind of roll me into what I want to talk about before the episode starts. Always love this twist. It's probably the moment I really fell in love with the show because it completely caught me off guard. This is an arc absolutely worth rewatching just to see all the small signs that point to Senjo not being able to see Hachikuji. Stuff like her literally not interacting with the kid once, or her utter confusion at seeing Koyomi fighting nothing. If you think about the kind of person she is, had she actually seen Araragi fighting with an elementary school kid, she'd probably have been way more ruthless with the verbal beatdown. Great point. Yeah, she would have destroyed Araragi. Like, yeah, wait. So back in that first episode, when he's like, I'm gonna go talk to that elementary school girl, she's like, wait, what? Maybe I do need to go back and rewatch it because that's kind of incredible. I didn't pick it up once, so even with some of her facial expressions or where she's looking animated really specifically and intentionally in a way that it's hard to catch if you're not rewatching with some knowledge of the twist. And here's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I could speak for hours about how much I hate the Araragi pedo sexual harassment jokes. I think it could take a lot away from an otherwise actually really enjoyable dynamic between Araragi and Hachikuji. Despite this show literally being my favorite series of all time and being borderline obsessed with it, I can never really criticize someone from turning away from it because of its bad moments. That said, I think it's really important to have discussions about this type of thing in media where we have to draw the line about acceptable jokes and if you can still enjoy the show outside of the occasional uncomfortable moment, and I think that's the best way to interact with it. And then I'll go back to the comment by DG Too Drunk. Regarding the sexual assault, lol, as you may have noticed already, this show has frequent jokes about sexual stuff. Our main character is a virgin teenage boy after all. Keeping that in mind and seeing it for what it is, jokes mostly, is the right attitude. Humor is subjective, and I think the show does a good job at making it clear what is in good fun and what should be taken seriously. I like how Koyomi can go from a creepy pedo to being a rather serious relationship with a girl his own age in the same episode. It's funny because it's a good bridge for the heavy topics the show addresses the rest of the time. You probably heard the term dramedy, like comedy and drama. It's pretty fitting genre description for this show. I'm happy that you took your time with the opening and lyrics and did a great job, and yeah, I'm going to keep doing that for all the openings. That's been demonstrated to me that that's a good thing to do. But back to the topic at hand, the kind of sexual assault, creepy pedo joke kind of thing. I think I came down a little bit harshly on it the past couple episodes because I'm not going to be a stick in the mud about it. It's still, I find it, funny's the wrong word, but kind of outrageous in a way. And you're right, it kind of splits up the show a little bit. Back to Bowsber's comment, I can definitely see why this would turn people away. I think everybody has a line somewhere, and that line's going to be different for everybody involved. And we also have to understand that we're looking at this show from a Western perspective onto a Japanese piece of media, an extremely Japanese piece of media. Applying our Western views of the world to that kind of thing is kind of fraught with danger, I think. That being said, is it always right to accept things that other cultures are doing just because they're other cultures and we don't want to be insensitive? I don't think that's right either. So it's definitely a fine line there. There's a fine line in all of this, I think. I think Bakemonogatari succeeds because I think it's done in at least a little bit of an artful way. You could have a look at the scenes that we're talking about, and they're executed in a comedic way. They're obviously not voyeuristic. I don't think, or particularly yet. So we go back to the specific one in episode 5, I think it was, where they're kind of dancing and doing the waltz and spinning in a circle, and there's a number of good faces there by Hachikuji as well. It's it's obviously framed in a comedic way. It's not it's not meant to be taken as a sexual glorification of an underage character, I don't think. But again, I can completely understand if that's your line and you don't want to cross that. Again, if I go through some of my other favorite shows, you could draw a line through a lot of different stuff. So let's go Your Name, one of the most popular anime movies of all time. It kind of, if you think about it, has a rape scene in it, kind of, right? Because Mitsuha, okay, spoilers for Your Name, by the way, but they switch bodies. Taki is in Mitsuha's body and touching Mitsuha's lady parts, let's say. This is technically not consent. And she's underaged. Like, do we want to draw the line there? I don't think so, because it's obviously like a adolescent teen comedy romance movie and isn't meant to be taken seriously at all and meant to be like a haha, he's a horny boy. That's funny. For another example, you could take a look at a show like K-On!, which I think most of the time, I'm going to say 99.9% of the time, isn't voyeuristic or weird or any of those things on its high school cast, except for a couple of moments, and I might put them on screen here. There's a specific joke about Mio's breasts at one point, and there's also a scene in which they're in school swimsuits, and it's kind of weird. That would be it, I think. And K-on's an amazing show, and it's a even really feminist show if you really take your time and think about it as well. I do I draw the line there? Probably not, right? My final example is going to be a show where it was too much for me, and that would be what's that show called? Rise of the Shield Hero. I thought it did some things with slavery and underage women and gender politics and understanding of rape that was very weird, and I would not condone it. And that's my line. And everybody has their line, I think. And I think it's important that we have a rational discussion about this stuff so we can each find each other's line and find what's acceptable by society for us to be able to watch. All in all, the Bakemonogatari sexual harassment jokes and that kind of thing, as long as it's done in an artful way that progresses the story and or at least is a little bit funny, they at least have a joke, there's a point to the scene, then I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not going to be a massive stick in the mud about the whole thing, I don't think. Another 2 comments came in regarding this issue. This is editing me, by the way, by Matt and Camfeb, I want to say. That go into what I'm talking about and bring up the issue of Araragi as an unreliable narrator, as well as it being from his point of view. So these scenes make a lot more sense if they're from his point of view and they're not actually really happening, and things could be different and blah 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 blah. I think we're going to see some of this later because the first comment mentions that the POV changes at certain points in the story. So we'll see what the changes do there. But yeah, thanks for the 2 comments regarding what I was talking about as well. So that was a little bit long, but yeah, maybe I put a time code to skip ahead or that kind of thing in the thing. But thanks for all the comments again. I really love the long analytical comments. They're my favorite to read, and I always look forward to responding to them in the videos. So thanks again. Just a little recap before we hop into the episode proper. We discover Hachikuji's problem, essentially, and send Senjougahara to find Oshinomeme to ask about it. This is like, so when Araragi is trying to find Hachikuji's home, then they keep walking in circles, it's really foggy and grey, and they can't find their way to the house. We get a bit of backstory on Araragi regarding his home life and his relationship with his family, and a little bit of history there. I'm pretty sure this will be expounded upon later, but we're going to leave it at there for now. Senjougahara shows up and explains that she can't see Hachikuji, and that she thought that she was the strange one for not being able to see her, which makes sense considering what happened last arc with the whole weight thing and her having essentially no weight for 2 years. Hanakawa we know could see Hachikuji. So we're gonna put a pin in that, and we're gonna find out more about Hanakawa at a future date. Hachikuji has been dead for a while. I think one of the comments said 11 years, and is essentially a ghost that manifests from a desire not to return home. Kind of an oversimplification there, but yeah, kind of. Hachikuji's backstory with the split parents and going home to see the mother and then eventually getting run over and dying. That whole sequence that was extremely well done last episode. Araragi still agrees to help Hachikuji despite learning all of this, and that's when Senjougahara prompts her to properly confess to it. Because she sees the good person that he is and his willingness to help anybody in trouble. Hachikuji's returned home, kind of. Senjougahara and Araragi are now dating, kind of. We'll see. The argument with the sisters is kind of resolved, but I think there's more stuff to go into with the whole family situation. And Hachikuji now exists as a spirit. I don't know what form this will take. I don't know if the other characters can now see Hachikuji, or she's just going to exist kind of as a figment of Araragi's own psyche. But we'll see. Some predictions for the stuff we have coming up. This is a new arc, so I'm kind of throwing stuff at the wall here just to see what sticks. There'll be a new character, there'll be a new problem, there'll be lots of text on screen. Senjougahara and Araragi's relationship, question mark, will be involved, I think. Maybe the progression there to which, maybe they become a couple now, and maybe we're talking about that kind of stuff. I don't know. Is Hachikuji in this arc? How is it manifested? How is it all going to work out? We don't know. But I'm excited to meet this new character, see a new opening, and do all that jazz. Alright, cool. Just some chill stuff before I start the episode proper. This was a very long intro, and I'm sorry for that, but I'll probably put time codes into this one because not everybody wants to see this shit. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and want to see more, consider subscribing. And, like all the wonderful comments I got this week, please consider leaving another one. I read them all and go through them at the start of the episode. So any thoughts that you want me to have my opinion on, or anything that you want, any trivia, that kind of stuff, that kind of jazz, I'm very happy to read it and look forward to reading more. Awesome. Let's get into the episode. And we're back here for the episode. Awesome. I've got the episode up here. Let me get it on screen. The episode length is 24 minutes and 26 seconds. There will be a timer in the bottom corner so you can follow along and do all that kind of jazz. And I'll get into it. Seems like the first screen here just is white with red text. So I don't know what this means, but I can't really glean much from it. Alright, we're going to get into it. Going to give it a 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, monkey. Monkey, real life monkey shots. Monkey, 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 monkey. Okay, this is very different already. Ah. Oh, there's Hachikuji. Are we gonna keep doing this stuttering thing? Hachibe? Back home for a minute. Oh, she's zooming. Bit of studying? Okay. Is she good at school? I forget. Man, I'm dead. That man-woman thing. He guesses. Okay. Potentially a little bit. It's a package deal, I think. Araragi. I really like Araragi's voice. I don't think I've said it enough. It must get kind of annoying. Yeah, okay, yep, Hey, you like can't escape this scene because of the train. It's funny. They just keep beating each other up, huh? She's still running though. I like the hair, like the bounce. Yeah, she's zooming. Nice little bike shorts. Araragi senpai. Kohai. Okay. And this is another opening I've never seen before. I'll probably read the lyrics in post. I'll just try to enjoy the opening as it happens right now. Okay, she dunking. This song rocks. Okay, she looks sad. Senjougahara. Araragi. Seems basketball themed. Wonder if it's like a tournament or something. Okay. Contrasting with Senjougahara. People, creepy people in rain jackets. I like the color palette for this opening. Flower. Gonna do some Hanako maybe. Another, yeah, stack of stationery for Senjougahara. Yeah, seems like there's some. I don't know if rivalry is the right word, but we're gonna see something. Okay, cuts are in two. Red. And the flower petals. Okay, alright. That's a lot to unpack there. And yep, here's my favorite. The green, though. Green's a bit different. Oh, and now orange. Bandage connection. Okay. By what? Okay, a bit self aware. Yeah. She zoomed the whole time. Okay, I think I understand the type of character you are. Yadere, yadere. Yeah, like some kind of basketball club or something? Hence the bandages. Kanbaru. Political situation in Russia. But yeah, he's taking in all the information about the injury and that kind of thing. Injury. He doesn't seem like much of a paper reader. What do you mean by that? Except you. Okay, it's like a flashback. Okay, so Senjougahara does have good grades. I got her to help me. Well, it's there's more going on there. Ooh, the static. Ooh, the CG on the ball. Okay, so is this sometime after what happened before? I don't know when they do exams in Japan. Later. I wonder what their relationship is. Araragi. Stop doing the same joke. Man, I'm dead. Yeah, please tell me. Start the basketball club. Blatantly tailing me for the past few days. We'll say. Hmm. Okay, see you later, Hachikuji. Why not? Bro, the car. The car's a little bit funny. He thinks he's some kind of Chad. You'd be correct. It's a very straight line. Yeah, her like shit house. Stop being horny. Focus on the paperwork. The paperwork is all that matters. Not subtle. Okay. Alright, the hair thing is kind of killing me. Like in the future. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're in senior year. Are we gonna do this whole senior year thing? Nah, she's just thinking of the future. That's nice. Good framing there, I like that. Yeah, kinda. Nah, I think you'll be fine. That's nice. Yeah, the birds keep coming back, like the doves. He's trying to play it cool. That's great handwriting. Pretty better than mine. Are they studying English, or did they just did the sub people just do that? Just, what was it last episode? I enjoy talking with you. Oh, and then the birds come down. What? Okay. Yeah, she just plays it cooler than you. Hotchkiss. Silly dilly. Oh, and then all the birds land. Smart. Okay. Good point. Okay. Kambaru Sudaruga. Okay. Okay, what's the relationship here? Yeah, good point. I didn't consider that. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh my god. That's a. I love the realistic shots. So I could destroy your eye. Okay, so what happened in the past? Or the pool balls there too. Back to simping. Yeah, you just have to coax it out a little bit. Hmm. That's kind of romantic in a weird way. Kind of. Some people would say yes. This music. She was the track star. Yeah. Okay, but what happened? She's been following me home. You'll be okay. You didn't do anything wrong. Time skip. What's floated above and fire below? Okay. Oh, okay. And what happened? Okay. Oh. Hmm. The shadow here. Okay. This is interesting. I kind of noticed last episode when she said other people found out about my thing but didn't do anything. Okay. No, that's just not how relationships work. Okay. Okay. Interesting technique. Okay, off the swing. This is where she was walking first scene of the first episode. Valhalla Duo. Okay, so they were like awesome. They were the best athletes. Yep. Okay, that's one way to look at it. The Valhalla Duo. Valhalla Combi. Yeah, it's kind of clever. Oh, Nishio Shin. That's funny. Yep, she does. Okay, same line as last episode. Hmm. I can see that. Okay, keeping a very student president look. Mmm. I like all the same car in the background too. I don't think he's that far along. Yeah, both of you. Okay. Again, the emoticons. Maybe they're just painted on. Hanakawa's fascinating. I really don't know what they're doing with her there. Hmm. Okay, dad. Hmm. Well, that's not helpful. Who the frick are you? You seem occult and dangerous. Okay, did the animation. Yep. He's beating the shit out of him. Save me. I don't know. Who is the masked man? Oh, not a masked man. Okay, little bandage. Clever. Okay, so I think yeah, there was a bit of bandage falling from her arm, and that is Kanbaru Suruga. I like the layers of this ED now that I'm looking at it, because there's like stationery on like one layer. And it's like because the town it's very oh this sometimes it's like very industrial, like industrial estate esque. I like that big tower that looks like a robot as well. Interesting. It's definitely a location that evokes a lot of it's very moody and it keeps it the whole time, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you couldn't mistake it for another show, I think. Lots to talk about in this little analysis portion too. I want to get into that Hanakawa stuff. And next time on? Yes, seems like a next time on. Alright, let's get into the analysis then. And we're back for the analysis portion of this episode. This was very different again. So each arc has kind of been a little bit different from the next, in a way. So we meet the character of, I hope I'm getting this right, Kambaru Suruga? Let me just check, so I'm not going to be a moron the whole time. Yep, Kanbaru Suruga. I'm not a moron, that's good. Starts the episode by following Araragi around. Seems like seems like she's been doing it for a little bit now, past few days. We learn about Saruga's past relationship with Senjougahara when they used to both be sporting superstars, and that Kambaro Saruga knew about Senjougahara's weight thing before anybody else, about a year ago, I think they said. Cool. Then we have some bit of banter with Senjougahara while they're studying. Then a conversation with Hanakawa that I want to get into and have an in-depth conversation about. And then I think the implication of the last scene is that Kambaro Saruga, in whatever form she's in right now, whatever her occult oddity thing, has now attacked Araragi. It'll be interesting to follow this from here. Beat the shit out of him. He was badly beaten up. Lucky he's got that immortal stuff going on. And then is found by Senjougahara. Alright, I'm gonna get the episode up here. So last week I got a copyright claim on my video. The first copyright claim I've ever gotten, which is very cool. It was because I showed too much video of the show in a row, if you know what I mean. So I was talking, doing my analysis stuff, and I wasn't particularly cognizant that I just left the video running as well. And yeah, YouTube didn't like that. YouTube came down hard. They blocked the video, and then I ended up editing it at like 4 a.m. to get it out at a suitable time, or re-editing it, I should say. So to avoid that in the future, I'm going to pause whenever I'm going to talk about anything, and you're just going to have to imagine the animation if I'm talking about how good the animation is. All right, sound like a cool compromise? Cool. All right, let's get into it then. Just going to pause it whenever I say anything cool. Well, for a start, it looks like we have a little bit of text on screen. So, girl, left hand, beast. Okay, interesting. So I didn't know which hand it was, but I'm going to imagine it's the left hand. We kind of see that at the end of the episode, where the hand is hanging down with the bandage off it, and it says beast. Now, the figure in the coat there, which I'm guessing is Suruga, looks beastly in nature. One could say like a monkey, almost. Got that kind of hands dragging a little bit. And we see, I think here we see some aggressive monkey footage, some real life aggressive monkey footage. They love their real shots in this show. Yeah, they're shot with a bit of shaky cam going on as well. So, like, look at that monkey, evil eyes. He's eyeing me down. I love monkeys, by the way. I watch like monkey videos all the time on YouTube, so it's hard to see them as anything but cute. But they can be very aggressive, I know. But anyway, like the fast cuts, very aggressive film technique again, and yeah, the scrolling monkey. To make it any more obvious, the first shot after that sequence is of Saruga or Kambaru. I don't know what we're calling her yet. And we see that Hachikuji's back, and she's doing her Araragi joke again, which is good. She she hasn't missed a beat since coming back. I wonder what the time skip is here. I'm gonna look up and see if I can kind of see when Japanese exams are. The first term lasts from April to July, the second term lasts from September to December, and the third term from January to March. There are final exams at the end of each term. Okay. There are also midterm exams in the first and second terms, but not the third, which is shorter than the other two. Okay. I'm going to imagine, because last time it was Mother's Day in May, so maybe it's July now. Maybe the final exam of that term, but it could also be midterms. I don't know if they mention. So, either way, it's at least a week or so, even if not even more, after the events of the last arc. Which makes sense with the way they're treating the relationship between Senjougahara and Araragi. So yeah, I wonder if Hachikuji has been showing up like daily in Araragi's life. That could be kind of annoying, I think. And again, so it seems like she can only be seen by. I think the commenter described it as those that have been touched by the occult or that kind of thing. So Hanakawa can see Hachikuji now, maybe? We'll see. So this entire scene is interlaced with shots of... I have to pick one. Saruga. We're going to call Saruga at the moment. Or maybe not. Let's go Kambaru, because Araragi calls her Kambaru. So this whole scene with Araragi and Hachikuji is intercut with these scenes of Kambaru running. It's effective technique. It makes us anticipate her arrival in a way. Like, so if we're not interested in the scene between Hachikuji and Araragi, we know, oh yeah, there's something afoot. There's a reason to keep watching. I want to, it sets up a bit of tension that needs to be resolved. It's back. What we talked about in the start of the video here. Again, we're not going to try and critique all of these, like, oh, does this one work? Does this one not work? Because I think that's a little bit tedious. For the record, I think this one works. It's quick and it's fairly comedic, and obviously it's not meant to be taken seriously. It's all about framing, I'm not going to dwell on it, I don't think. It doesn't stop them from beating each other up again and going and getting a drink. I think that's kind of the relationship loop we're going to see with these two. It's kind of, annoying person with annoying person get annoyed with each other, beat each other up, but still friends afterwards. I think we all have friends like that a little bit. So it kind of works. Just his friend is, an elementary school girl. And yeah, these shots here, they pick up pace just before she arrives. Cool. Kambaru shows up and we're off to the opening. I'm going to read some of the lyrics here and then kind of come through with a little bit of an overall point. I might pause on a few key visuals as well. I think in particular, let me find one quickly. I think now that we've seen the episode, I think this one here is telling a little bit, like the bandages hanging down. So yes, there's some connection there between Kambaru and these hooded figures here. That kind of yellow raincoat. So, and yeah, the connection between Senjougahara and Kambaru is clear to see as well. Using their reds and blues again. I don't know what I'd describe the color palette of this opening as. Yeah, maybe pastel, like the kind of the muted blues and the not as sharper lines in the blacks. And then yeah, I don't know my flowers at all, so you guys are going to need to talk about the flowers a little bit. So going through all the flowers and then see Senjougahara on essentially a mountain of stationery. And then we end with a scene in which Senjougahara cuts Kambaru in two and ends the opening with the with a sharp red that's a contrast to the entire color palette of the rest of the opening. It's effective, and the flower petals as well. So the flower is probably symbolic, some way of Kambaru, I think we can infer. And yeah, I kind of just looked at the visuals again, but I'm going to read the lyrics now. I captured that scene subconsciously in my head. So yeah, these are like character POV, so I can imagine that this is Kambaru saying this. This is not the future I've been longing for. So kind of like imagining a scene, or a scene playing out in a way that you didn't expect, not in the way that you wanted it to. Okay. Maybe to do with Senjougahara? Unknown to me, never before seen smile, and then a shot of Senjougahara. Okay. And then how does Araragi factor into all of this as well? I stood there completely frozen as if rooted to the spot. So we see the shot like Senjougahara and Araragi kind of looking at each other with Kambaru kind of on the perpendicular there. Yeah, so she's essentially jealous of Araragi's relationship with Senjougahara. In a way, even if she doesn't want to be, she is. Both of us just act so erratically. Our worlds stray from each other, I should say. Everything is just so erratic, I can't shake off these contradicting feelings. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I think these are going to gain more meaning as we get more information about the past. I also wanted to note the line "everything is so erratic" as these monsters, these beasts, these oddities are on screen as well. So another connection there between Kambaru and whatever this creature is. Guessing it's just Kambaru, but we can't assume anything. So we kind of see her like surrounded by these beasts. Then these bandages turn into this giant flower, whatever this flower is. I've got no clue. Kind of pushes away all the figures there. It's like in her mental, kind of gives her a look into her mind at the moment. And then what do these say? Suck a candy, chew gum, dead or alive. No clue. With my reckless heart, someday I will leave you behind. Okay. Before I noticed, my blind heart managed to outstrip me, so her feelings got the better of her. This is really interesting. Where does like the monkey come into all of this? There's probably some wordplay that I'm missing as well. Anyway. Entwined by feelings, run, run, there's only one thing I can do. Because she's like a track star as well. Or she does the basketball, Senjougahara is the track star. So my heart's erratic, it's got the better of me. I'm chasing after this one thing the only thing that I want to do. The only thing I want to do is Senjougahara. Okay. Hurry, hurry, hurry to a place beyond here. And then cut in twice. Cut in two. Okay, so Senjougahara doesn't reciprocate, as we can see. Yeah, interesting opening. I'm very happy that I went back and had a look again. I think it's opened up some conversation topics and really cleared some stuff up for me regarding what happened. And now we're back to my favorite. Oh, I look very green in my camera at the moment. But yeah, this text on screen. I'm going to read it and pause it and we're going to talk about it. Cool, cool. Kambaru Saruga is such a famous person that there isn't a single person in the school who doesn't know about her, so of course, I had heard her name many times. So this kind of explains away my other thing, which is do Araragi and Kambaru have a bit of a past relationship? Doesn't seem like it, she's only interested in Araragi because of his association with Senjougahara. Okay, makes sense. No, in Kambaru Suruga's case, it'd be better to call her a star instead of a famous person, because it'd describe her nuance better. Don't really know the distinction there, but anyway. Kambaru Suruga is the star of the basketball team. Okay, she's the best. As a freshman, she became a regular in no time, and with her guidance, a girls' basketball team you'd be embarrassed to even call pathetic losers suddenly made it to nationals. Okay, so she's really fucking good. She became surrounded with a monstrous legend, so it's weird not to call her a star. Okay. Monstrous legend? It is not because she is very tall. I mean, you have centers in basketball as well. She has a figure of an ordinary high school girl. Moreover, she is a bit short and slim. Graceful is what you would say. From that shot before where she was jumping, I would say graceful as well. They did a good job animating that, I think. But Kamburu Suruga jumps. Last year, just once, I went with some acquaintances to a game that Kamburu Suruga participated. She crushed her opponent's defense and easily finished her drive with a dunk shot. Just like in that boys comic popular all over Japan. I don't know, Slam Dunk? Is that what he's talking about? Got no clue. What's the other one? Kuroko no Basket, I want to say. With ease and balance, with a slight smile of an athletic girl, as if in a very good mood, time and time again. Of course, she doesn't know me. She doesn't have any reason to. Until now. Then we see, bandage connection, bandage connection, bandage connection. In the end, that's what I thought. That's what I was sure about. But yeah, not sure enough. She has a reason to be associated with you now. You fucked up. You stole her girl. This is strange. It's like she's treating him with a lot of respect. Like Sasuga, you're the best. You just like I thought you would do, Master. Like that kind of stuff. Like, oh my god, Senpai, you're so impressive. But then that's contrasted with the beastly stuff with Senjougahara. He calls him a witty, I think, at one point as well. Strange. Didn't think that they had an association from the text before, but maybe they do. Or maybe they've been meeting this past little bit, or maybe she's just weird. I don't know, it's unclear. Maybe she admires him in a way for taming Senjougahara, in a way. Like winning her affection. Like, honestly, I admire you. There's probably something in that. I don't know. But it's played off for jokes initially. So she can't go to club because her hand is messed up, and then we get this close up of the hand like grabbing, kind of like that, onto the cage. The texture on the bandage is kind of insane too. It doesn't fit in with the rest of the scene. It's meant for you to focus on it a little bit, and then it's brought back in the last scene of this episode where we see this hand again, and we're like, make the connection in our brain. Because Araragi makes the connection as well, because he is noticing all of this stuff right now as well. He notices something's up. So what's the deal with the bandages? Is that what Senjougahara did to her? Maybe it's something else. It's unclear. Yeah, I don't know what this whole thing with the political situation in Russia and the IT industry in India is. She just trying to make conversation because to hide what she's really there for, which is information on Senjougahara. I think that's probably it. So this whole scene where Araragi is explaining the study group that he's going to is very strange. So somebody shoots a basket. I'm going to imagine it's Kambaru. And it seems like both of her arms are fine in this shot. And then as soon as the basket goes through the thing, she goes, you're going to see Senjougahara. There's also this like static in between when she's thinking if it is Senjougahara or not that he's going to see. And then there's an extreme close-up of her mouth somewhere. Extreme close-up of the mouth. It's very interestingly shot. Is that kind of like... not like the Beast? Like her brain gets kind of scrambled in a way? I don't know. We're going to have to see. If you talk about somebody in your class that has good grades, it has to be Senjougahara. Well, not necessarily. Hanakawa's there. But you knew it was Senjougahara because you have some other information. Interesting. Little catch out there. Yeah, and then, so she shoots the basket. Both of the arms are fine. The basketball rolls back to where she is, and her arm is all effed up. Her arm is bandaged. So the word Senjougahara is said as she shoots the basket, as the basket goes through the hoop. We'll keep it in mind. It's a bit of a weird one, but I think I kind of see what they're trying to say. This was a funny little bit of comedy through repetition. Like they showed this shot again, which was the one that resulted from them fighting last time. So after the little conversation they had, you assume that they fought again. It's good. It's very quick, witty. It's what we've come to expect from the show at this point. A little bit of self-awareness here. I'm not the protagonist of some gal game. You're in, I wouldn't call it a harem, but almost kind of pseudo-harem. So a little bit of self-awareness by the author there. They know what they're writing. And if he is in a gal game, he's already conquered the toughest character. And look at it, he looks so smug there. That's funny. That's cute. They're cute. and then immediate cut to, I feel like I've been described it unpleasantly. Like she's got a sixth sense about the whole thing. Yeah, I think a commenter mentioned it. The show does get kind of deep sometimes, kind of sad and that kind of thing, like a comedy and a drama. But I think that the comedy really does help with the drama to keep it light. Yeah, because if this show was all plot, 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 sad, plot, 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 sad, I think it would get a little bit tiring, especially with the production style of the show. I think that would get a little bit tiring, but I think the jokes do help a lot to break it up. Yes, the three food groups: lips, breasts, latissimus dorsi muscle. Then we got a not so subtle train goes past the screen, and then we see his hair point up. Not subtle, not subtle at all. But yeah, I see what you're doing here. And then it goes limp later when she kind of tells him off. I see what you're doing. I'm picking up what you're putting down, show. So they get to talking about the future, and the implication here is that Senjougahara sees them having a future together, which is cute. I think she says later on, it's like, well, I am your girlfriend after all. And then he's like, hell yeah. I don't know, they're in that stage of a relationship where like they're just trying to feel it out and it's all lovey dovey and honeymoon period, I think they call it. Yeah, I'd like to walk the same path as you. It seems like everything's going great. Nobody's going to get in the way of this relationship at all. Oh no. So yeah, the shot of the two doves as well. This is kind of like their symbolism for Senjougahara in a way, and there's two doves there now. Get it? I get it, I think. Yeah, they mentioned it last episode. Like, I just enjoy talking with you. Well, there's big long scenes of Senjougahara and Araragi talking, and I really enjoy them as well. So, as long as they keep being in the show, I'm going to keep enjoying it. They've got a great little banter, rapport going on, and I really do enjoy it. And Senjougahara doesn't do track anymore because she doesn't want to relive the past. Okay. It's good reason, I think. Like, I've just come out of a really traumatic period in my life, and one of the things that I used to do would remind me of that trauma. It's as good as reason as any to stop doing something, I think. Do you know about Kamburu Suruga? And then she immediately stops writing. And then, yeah, Araragi calls Kambaru by her first name, and then Senjougahara flips out. She's like, what the hell did you do? They've got these little shots here. Let me see if I can find one. Of like the eye, the realistic eye pointing again. But he's still got the hair. Very clever. I like this. Again, I think this is trying to put us, the audience, in Araragi's shoes in a way. Because we're real people, I guess. So we feel the scene more. We feel the pen closer to our eye if we see a real eye there. It's clever. I think that's what they're trying to do. Or they're just being artsy, which is fine as well. And there's this whole scene about Senjougahara talking about, I want to be the one that kills you, Araragi, so I'll be the closest to you, which is kind of weird, but people into that. And then he's like, I don't want anybody to kill me. If anybody was going to kill me, I wouldn't want it to be you. Then she's like mad at that. It's funny. It's a relationship stuff. But then I find it interesting that a little bit later, we get this line: if anyone else kills you, I'll kill them. You know who tried to kill Araragi at the end of the last episode? I'm guessing tried to at least injure. Looks like it's Kambaru. So a little bit of a battle brewing there potentially. I don't know who I have in that fight, honestly. Outside of team practice and stuff, we looked after each other. I wonder what this means. They were obviously fairly close in the past. Did they used to date? I can't imagine that. I think it's more one-sided. Kambaru realized my secret a year before you did. So last episode, Senjougahara kind of alluded to this happening. Like people knew about it, but didn't do anything. So I wonder if that's a reason why she resents Kambaru a little bit. She must have tried to help you, right? I dealt with it like I did when you offered. So she cut her. Potentially the bandage? Dunno. And then this shot implies that it was a cut to the neck, which is way more serious. Don't do that, Senjougahara. You'll kill her. But why is she following me around? She probably found out that you were my boyfriend. Yeah, and this is where we get the clue of the relationship being the main motivating factor behind Kambaru's actions. If that figure in the end of the episode is Kambaru. But for Kambaru, Senjougahara was her upperclassman crush. So yeah, then we get the romantic implication a little bit. Okay. Hence why she's so interested in Araragi, considering he's the one that tamed the beast, as to say. It's not like she means any harm. Yeah, not at all. And then on the way home, Araragi decides to give Hanakawa a call. The primary color of her phone screen is green. Is this like kind of her color that we know that we're talking to Hanakawa? Makes sense, I think. I just wanted to comment on the way that Hanakawa looks at her phone as well. Like, like she's very happy to be receiving this call from Araragi. And then that first line, sorry to keep you waiting, Hanakawa speaking. Like she was just looking at the phone, savoring getting a call from Araragi. Hmm. Wonderful. Then we get this technique with kind of like the blocked out letters in the words. If that makes any sense. I don't know what it's for. It's kind of like simulating phone static in a way, but I don't know why they did it. Made the conversation less legible for me. So I'll give it another read now. I was just doing some light studying. No, you're not. You're all alone late at night at a playground, and then you do this walk along the water that you did in the first episode as well. Hanakawa's very curious. I really wonder what's going on there. The Valhalla Duo, they were called. And there's some kind of clever word pun with Balruharu, like Valhalla. I don't know much about Norse mythology, so I can't really glean much from this, but it's a cool name. So, and there was a little Easter egg later on. I think it had Nishio Shin in the corner as well, which is the author of the light novels, so or original creator of the Monogatari series. I mean, no wonder why Kambaru is so attached. They've got like a cute couple name already. Like, of course, should think something's going on. The little art style change here is nice, kind of reflecting a little bit of some historical art and that kind of thing to do with, I'm guessing, Norse mythology. Um, it's good touch. Like the colors. I like that it's kind of drawn on what looks to be like a workbook as well. Kind of like it's like history homework or something like that. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. It's good. Hanakawa drops that Senjougahara was popular with guys and girls, another clue to Kambaru's feelings. Yeah, she was most popular among younger girls. It's great that you like each other, but try to keep proper male-female relations in mind, Araragi. Very political, very takes the feeling out of it, very class president. But then it's followed up with this, like the glasses become shaded over, and it's very different Hanakawa. Fascinating. And yeah, this is another. There's little what do you call it? Foreshadowing, pieces of foreshadowing all over these early arcs for stuff that I think is going to happen later. I'm just trying to keep it all in mind, if you know what I mean. I wonder what the metaphor of her standing in the middle of like moving traffic is as well. Is it to contrast what she was doing before, which was walking on the sidewalk, like the to signify that change even further? Hmm. I'm bothered by the very fact that people exist, but you're an exception. Senjougahara and Araragi are similar in that way, and it makes outsiders like potentially Hanakawa and Kambaru a little bit alienated. Like they're tough cookies to crack, and it seems like they've cracked each other, which is anyway. We'll see what happens. If I could, I'd like to give Senjougahara back what she lost, what she threw away. Is that in reference to her track and field past kind of stuff? Like he wants her to do all the things that she used to enjoy without this past baggage. Is that what he's trying to say? Maybe. Or it could mean a number of other things as well. And we see that Senjougahara has put together the money needed to pay back Oshino Meme for his services in the first arc. I think it was 100,000 yen off the top of my head. She said that she worked for her father, so her father is still very rich. So yeah, she's from a rich family. The father's still very rich, but she's living out here in squalor. Well, kind of squalor. The place seems cozy, but it's not for a rich person. I think, what was the line? I had to beg my father. What was it? I helped my father out at work for a bit. I guess. Well, I guess it's more like I forced him to let me help. So the father didn't want to help, but she forced him. Okay, little insight into the relationship with Senjougahara's father there as well. I wonder if that'll come back. I was going to hand it over, but I forgot it at her place, which is the reason at the end of the episode, while Senjougahara shows up, because she's like, "Crap, he forgot the money. I'll just follow him quickly and give it to him." What an idiot! What a moron! She just finds him beat up. And what beats him up? Oh, it's this thing, kind of in like the raincoat and the gumboots. It's not quite the yellow we saw in the opening. You can kind of see it there already, kind of the bandage hanging off that same arm. I think it's the same arm. He said it was the left. Yeah, that's the left arm. Okay. And then I think we see a little bit of hair later. It's definitely Kambaru. I just don't know how cognizant Kambaru is of the whole situation. If she's being possessed or what, or or a certain portion of her psyche is lashing out. We'll see next episode. Or next few. I think this piece of animation is really sick. I won't play it here because I don't want to get copyright struck, but I thought it was really, really cool. You could really feel the impact. Araragi gets hit multiple times. And yeah, he's flying all over the place. It's obviously very painful. But because he's got his immortal thing going on, his healing thing going on, he'll be okay. Yeah, and here's where it connects in his mind. He sees the bandage and then remembers seeing this arm. So yeah, definitely Kambaru. And that's the end of the episode. That's where we leave off. We're gonna try and find more about this beast slash monkey slash Kambaru situation and how it reacts to the relationship brewing between Senjougahara and Araragi. And we're probably going to get some choice scenes between Kambaru and Senjougahara, I'm going to say. And more insight into what actually happened in the past with the Valhalla duo. But for now, I wanted to thank you very much for watching. We're going to do 2 next week, I'm going to imagine, time permitting. I'm going to promise it now, but I could swerve and do something else, but I probably won't. Just one more time, if you like the video, please like the video. It does help a ton. Subscribe if you like the video and want to see more. Yeah, comment below anything that you would think would help with the presentation of the show, or what you thought about the episode, or interesting insights and trivia and that kind of thing, because I read them all, and so do the other commenters, and I'm sure they get a lot out of it as well. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. See ya.